Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to math. In the last few concepts, we've been covering matrices. We did adding, subtracting matrices. We did also introduction of it, like how many rows, how many columns, how many dimensions each matrices has. Today we're focusing on the multiplication part of matrices, okay? Notice that on the previous concepts, you couldn't combine matrices with two different dimensions. For multiplication, the rule is different. Here you can combine them. I'm about to give you a formula of how it works. Bear with me that I'm going to write it on the board. It's going to look a little complicated. We're not going to work on the whole equation today. We're only going to work on the first part of it. But make sure you write it all down so you have it on your notes. The equation goes like this. Use another color here, color we can all see. The equation goes A1, B1, okay? A2, B2. Multiply it by, we're going to have another matrices. Obviously, they can be bigger. You could go up to the next one, C, and then D. I'm only going to go up to the very basic ones. The same with columns. You can go to A1, A2, A3, A4, and 5. Doesn't really matter. Like I said, I'm just doing a 2 by 2 for now. The other equation you're going to have is x1, x2, y1, y2. Okay? That is the equation for multiplying matrices, the very basic stuff. Okay? Like I said, you can extend it if you want it more longer in each direction. But for the purpose of the concept, I'm going to show you a 2 by 2, and I'm only going to show you the first part of it. When it comes to multiplying matrices, there's a way for it to all work together. The second part of this matrices is, notice that again, I'm going to write the whole equation of it, more break it down once you multiply both of them together. The rule is you multiply the first number on your left quadrant, upper quadrant. You have A1 times the same number on the other matrices, but same quadrant, okay? Upper left quadrant. So we have A1 times X1, but at the same time, you have to add B1 times X2. Okay, I know it looks complicated. Write it down for now. We're going to work on it once I put actual numbers in there, because it's going to start seeing a pattern in there. The next part is, again, we're going to do the bottom now of this first part, which we have now A2 times the same ones. Okay, A2 times X1 plus B2 times X2. Now we're going to do the right side. We're going to go back to the first one. The first ones we used, A1, B1. But this time, we're going to multiply A1 times Y1. So we have A1 times Y1 plus B1 times Y2. And then finally, we have A2 times Y1 plus B2 times y2. If you notice the pattern already, great. If not, think a little bit about it. Notice that the first column on your second matrices is always set up on the first column of your answer, okay? Therefore, you have x1, you have a1 times x1, and then a2 times x1. Notice that the x1 doesn't change. You still have x1 on both. So you still have this corner on both of those numbers. Then you have x2 on both of the numbers here. The same on the other one. You have y1 on both, y2 on both. Meaning that your second part of your equation is your second part of the matrices. Your first part is your first part of the matrices. Also notice that when it comes to rows, whatever your first row is on the first one, that is also the problem for the first one. Notice we have A1 and B1. We have A1 here, A1 here. You have B1 here, and then B1 here. So there's a pattern to it. Your columns stay the same. Your rows stay the same in the location, okay? That's the pattern. But luckily, today we're only gonna focus on this very first part, okay? Next time we're gonna focus on the other second part. This way, we can solve a whole matrices. Make sure you have everything written down. Let me zoom it in a little so you guys can, in case you guys can't really see it, you guys can actually see the work. All right, make sure you pause it if you have to write it down. All right, now that you have it down on your notes, we can actually get started on the concept. All right, guys, so remember, I said we're gonna work this way. I'm gonna change it a little up. We're gonna go this way. This way you guys can really like observe and see the pattern that goes on. Let's start off with the first one. We have 4, -4, 1, -2, 3. On the other matrix, you have 3, 0, 0, 3. Let's start off with the first one, which is 4. So we're gonna have a 4 here. Okay, that 4 is being multiplied. Okay, that 4 is being multiplied times the 3. Okay, so we have 4 times 3 plus, there's just another color here. We have the 1 times the other one. Think of it as this way. You go horizontal on the first one, you go vertical on the second one. So we have 4 times 3 and then 1 times 0. So we have 1 times 0. Now we're going to work on this other corner here, on the right upper corner. I chose this instead of the bottom because we're still using the same ones. When it comes to the column, or to the row I mean, you use the same row you started off with. So we have again 4, but this time we're gonna go with the other one, okay? The other column. So we have 4 times 0 plus the one we already used again, which is the 1 times 3. Notice that the first one with the first one, the second one with the second one. Again, the first one with the first one, the second one with the second one. That is how you set up your first column or your first row on the second part. Now we can actually combine. We're not going to do the bottom yet because it's a lot of work. Okay? I want you guys to get a little bit of hang of it at first. So we can say 4 times 3. We have 12. So our new matrices, at least for the top part, we have 4 times 3, which is 12, plus 1 times 0, which is 0. On the other one, 4 times 0, which is 0, plus 1 times 3, which is 3. So we went from one equation to the next. Now we can actually simplify. 12 plus 0, which is 12. And then 0 plus 3 is 3. So we went from the first one to the second step, to your third step, to your final answer on the top part of the matrices. You do the same thing for the bottom part, but we're going to continue this same equation next class. For now, I'm going to give you one to work on your own. Keep in mind that one you're going to work on by yourself. You're going to keep it going until we get it all completed. So here's your assignment. All right, guys. The problem for you guys for today is -1, 0, 3, and 7 times 3, 2, -1, and 4. Remember, all I want is for you guys to find the answers for the first row. Okay, so continue the first row for the both of them. Remember, the first row with the first column, then the first row with the second column. That should complete your whole first row on your final answer. If you have any questions, guys, don't hesitate to ask, okay? I'm here. If you guys need more help, I'll try to make another video, where it's more in detail, the first part of that concept. So make sure as soon as you're done watching the video, you submit your answers, and I'll be here waiting to hear from you.